Anybody there this morning yet?
No one here but us computer geeks.
Hey, Andy, how are you?
Good morning, Joe.
Morning, Leon.
Yeah, it indicates that there's 11 participants on the
Oh,
call.
all right, here we are.
Good morning, Joe. This is Diane.
Good morning, how are you?
I'm good, thanks. How about you?
Doing all right. Trying to figure out this computer. All of a sudden I saw people and all of a sudden I don't. I touch something and I'll figure it out.
We don't see you either.
I think we just need to get you a bigger monitor. That's all. We'll get you a 65-inch TV. You can put it on your desk.
No, I think I would like that. Trying to see why I can't see. Oh, wait a second. Oh, no, that's not it. Can you guys see me?
Absolutely.
Yes.
Yep.
Okay.
Your camera's on now. You're good.
I hate computers.
Well, I think computers love you, Joe. So it's okay.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, until I break out with a hammer. Today's the first.
Don't do it.
Oh, man. Now Scott's going to be on this morning, but I guess he's running a little late.
Okay. No worries.
I think he'll be early for being on late.
He didn't send me any texts about birthdays or anything this morning, so I figure that means he'll show up.
Yeah, there you go. Oh, man. Okay. Oh, look at that. I think I'm finally starting to figure this out. Ah, I can see people now.
That's awesome. Good. Maybe we should get you 3 different monitors, and then you can have Zoom on one, like a browser window on another.
Man, I think eventually we're just gonna have to start doing this in person.
Right?
That will solve everything.
Hey, just a heads up, guys, the email that I got this morning for this meeting did not have the right link to join.
Oh, of course not.
It,
And
it,
did it ask for a password?
it asked me for a passcode, and the one that was on the email was incorrect. So I called Jake and he had a different one. And what I ended up doing was just clicking on like the register below, like register for the meeting. And then
Yep.
it brought me to the website and it had a different link to join. Just a heads up.
Yeah, everything changed because they had to when the meeting was created in Zoom, it was set up as a recurring meeting, and it had no password, and then it won't allow it to auto record in the cloud without a password being assigned.
Yeah.
So they had to create a password, and then it changed the link for everybody. But if they go to the homepage or they go to Facebook or Meetup, the links are there, so they can just click.
You know, I tried doing the same thing. I went to the other to your old link that you sent Scott and I, Andy.
Yep.
And I clicked on that. That took me right here. Otherwise, I was like, "What the?" I was like, "Oh man." So I'm
Yep,
sure.
everybody's just got to update their calendar, because there is one in the calendar on FREIA. There is a link for a recurring meeting that'll just drop it into your calendar, and it goes for like Google and Outlook and just generic calendar file, and it has all the correct links and everything. So if people just download that, it'll show up on their calendars.
Okay. I'm sure it's going to be, because last time there was a bunch of people who they were texting me. I'm like, I'm the wrong person to text.
Oh, the evening meeting. Yeah, it happened for both.
Yeah.
Yep. 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 We put the link on the homepage too. So if people just go to FREIA.com, there's a link on the right-hand side and in red in the pink box at the top. And they can just click the join now button and it'll take them right into the meeting.
Okay.
Well, that was the other thing. We had to get rid of the waiting room too. So there's a bunch of changes that had to happen. Zoom's a pain in the butt.
Well, I mean, we made the changes because of the fact that it made things easier.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it makes things a little bit less secure, for sake of better words.
Yeah.
And but it made it easier for people to get in. And if something goes to hell in a handbasket, then we'll come up with some other solution.
Right.
All right.
Looks like
Andy.
Dee's on too.
Yeah. Sorry, Andy will come up with some other solution.
Oh, geez. Here we go. Thank you for voluntolding me.
I never heard that before. That's funny. Still got,
As long as they stop changing all the security settings on the back end at Zoom, it'll be fine. They got so much bad press for the security stuff at the beginning. They keep making it more and more complicated to set things up.
Yeah, I'm sure we'll give everyone just a couple more minutes. I don't even know if Scott's even on yet. I don't know.
I don't see him yet. No.
So I'm going to be in for the very beginning of the meeting. Then I have to take off. My wife has a couple of things that she needs me to do, and
No problem. Well, we'll talk about, I know you want to probably go over the Christmas party.
holiday party.
Yeah, the holiday party. So they'll definitely let you go over that. and kind of
Hopefully
figure-
everybody got the emails reminding them to register.
Mhm.
The first one we sent out last week on Black Friday, 80% of them bounced because of a setting in the in the server. We sent out like 1,700 emails or 1,900 emails, and 1,700 of them bounced.
Oh my God.
Yep.
It's fixed now. The one we sent yesterday went like 96% of them went through or something. So
Yeah, I saw the one yesterday, and certainly the concern is having something close to the numbers of people that's going to be there.
yeah.
Well, morning is flying. Holy smokes. I can't believe this.
I know I've been up since 5:30, and it's like it feels like I've been awake for a half hour. It's nuts.
Me too. It's like, it's just boom. It just goes crazy. You know, and I'm like, holy smokes. We'll get started here in about 1 minute. I know,
Sounds good.
I know I'm gonna get text messages. I can't get it on.
Check your
Go to
email.
the FREIA website.
Yep.
It's all right. We'll work out the kinks as they come along. So it's I don't even know. I don't know if Scott's still in Virginia or if he's down in Georgia or Florida. I can't remember. I can't even keep up with him.
I haven't talked to him in a couple weeks.
He is, man, he's trying to get away from the cold, I'll tell you that much.
I think he's in the Carolina.
What was that?
Gabe will know.
I'm pretty. Yeah, he's in the Carolinas right now, north or south, one of the two. Actually, wait, I'll tell you which one he is because he sent me a bunch of leads. North Carolina.
Wow.
Nice.
Mail him a snowball, Nate. Or Nate. I'm calling you Nate. Oh my God, Gabe. I got Nate on the brain.
A snowball, more than a snowball, almost Snow Mountain, dude. Jeez.
There you go. Oh. All right, we're gonna kick this thing off here because I'm sure Scott will be joining us here shortly. So I don't know if there's any new people on there. Oops, what just happened here?
I just stopped the slideshow. So
Let me do this. Sorry, everybody. There we go. All right. So I don't know if there's any new people on there. Most of us pretty much know each other here. This is the Aries meeting. Welcome. Good morning. If you don't know, we focus on everything having to do with real estate, except for tenants and toilets. There's a whole housing provider, which is not going to be happening because of the holiday party and then the Christmas. So I guess that next one is going to be the second week of February. January.
yes.
Actually. And so that is going to be at Ezzy's. Check the FFREIA website. But you could talk about tenants and toilets till your heart is ever so content. And by the way, we keep this, for those of you who don't know, live and interactive. Okay, we want to be able to learn and talk with each other. This is a really great place to connect. It's not like a huge group where we can't talk and basically be able to open up ideas and be able to maybe help each other out. Okay. What we say, don't take as gospel. Talk to your attorney, talk to your accountant. What may work for some of us may not work for some of you, and vice versa. Okay. And what am I forgetting here? Actually, I'm gonna let Leon here speak in a minute here about the holiday party. For any other types of information, go to the FFREIA website. At least keep up to date as far as what's going on, especially going into Christmas and then starting into January, which is only 30 days away. Actually 31 till the 1st. So FFREIA.com. And what am I forgetting? Anything before I turn it over to Leon?
I don't think you're forgetting anything, but we probably want to mention that the FFREIA calendar on the website is now listing all the real estate meetups that are happening in Rochester, in the Rochester area, that we're made aware of. So other groups that are running meetings are sending us their dates, and we're putting them up on the calendar. They're labeled as non-FFREIA meetings. But we're trying to create a hub where people can go to see what's going on for networking. So there's stuff up there for Saturday. There's stuff up there every Tuesday. The Rockwire, the women's group, which is FFREIA, is up there now. So check it out when you get a chance.
Wow, that's fantastic. Wow, that's great. All right. Leon, I don't know if you want to talk about the Christmas party or holiday party.
Yeah, I mean, I can just say a couple words. Basically, the holiday party is an event that we do pretty much every second Friday in December. That's sort of the target date. Look at the go to the website, look at the calendar. And one of the main things that we want to ask people to do is to register for the holiday party. It's much like the picnic, the difference of obviously being the fact that it's something that takes place around the holiday, and it's an event that's inside at DaVinci's. It's been at DaVinci's for the last few years. And it gives folks an opportunity to come and enjoy themselves, do some networking. Joe Lababera, I'll probably do some deals. you probably want to talk to him if you're looking for something, so he can tell you about all those listings that he have that he's not going to use himself. Let's put it that way. In other words, it really is associated with us enjoying ourselves, and it is the meeting where, sort of informally, for sake of better words, we have the meeting of the board. So there'll be some board announcements that'll take place at this particular meeting, where you'll see a bit of a change in the leadership associated with the organization. We'll go through that and talk about that. We'll also probably have some guests that we'll have that will be speaking. And I'm pretty sure that I have at least a couple of folks from City Council that'll be there. We'll give them an opportunity to say a couple of words. And hopefully they won't get an opportunity, because if the mayor shows up, which I still have indications that he's coming, but anything can happen and he can be called off to do something else. And so it's a good way for people to interact directly with the members of government that really control a lot of what's happening and what's going on. An example would be right now, one of the things that's in sort of backroom discussions is, how do we handle Airbnb? Or I should say, how does the city handle Airbnb? Give someone an opportunity to say, well, you know, Mayor, I do Airbnb, and there's a lot of bad press. It's impacted my business. And there's a situation that therefore is created where he's got a one-on-one discussion going on with an individual, and that individual is giving him their understanding of things and the way that things happen from their perspective. Will it make a difference? I don't know. But the key thing is that you have an opportunity to talk directly with the folks that are, for sake of better words, in control. So that's what that's about. Same as at the picnic, where you basically have an opportunity to be face-to-face with someone and make a difference by talking about what it is that's going on with you and how it impacts you. And we changed that format back a year or two ago so that that interaction could take place. And the other thing that's very important, other than the interaction and all the great fun that we're going to have, we're going to give away gifts. And those gifts are provided by the vendor members, and it's going to be a great time. We always enjoy ourselves, and we're still working through some of the particulars, but for the most part, everything is all set up. The only thing that I ask for you to do is to make sure that you go to the website, and as Andy indicated earlier, that you register so that we know how many people are coming. So why do we want to do that? We need to do it so that we don't have a whole bunch of folks upset with the folks who didn't register, because now we don't have enough food, or the amount of food that we have is impacted and limited because of the fact that instead of 50 people showing up, 100 people show up. Now, hopefully it won't be anything like that drastic, hasn't in the past, but it gives you a feel for what some of the negative impacts would be if someone doesn't show up. And the other thing about the holiday party, like the picnic, you can come and you can bring a guest. And the food for the guests and the food for you is free. And, you know, so we ask people to just let us know, and we're going to have a great time. So is there any piece that I missed that I should go over? Mr. McQuaid?
I think you got it.
Okay, super. So what I'm gonna do then is I'm gonna hand it back over to my good friend, Mr. Joe Lababera. And I can't be on the call for the whole thing today, but great seeing folks here, and I look forward to seeing you at the holiday party.
Thanks, Leon. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Yeah. And anyone who hasn't been to the party, you got to get there. Not just for the fun and the food, the networking. You'll see people there you don't usually run into. So it's a really great time. Really great time. So definitely check it out. I don't know if there's any new people on here. Is there anybody on here who's been on here who's being on here for the very first time? If you are, I want you to do a quick 30-second introduction, who you are, where you're from, and what you're looking to do in real estate. Everybody on here has been here? I guess so. All right. Before we get started, haves and wants. Let us know what you're looking for. If you got something you're looking to sell, let us know. You got something you would want us to be on the lookout for, let us know. If you don't tell us, we will not call you or let you know because you did not let us know. Anybody?
Hey, everyone. I have a duplex in the ABC neighborhood of Park Ave. It's not cheap, so if it's something that interests you, reach out to me. I'll put my information down there. One unit is currently rented right now at 1,800 paying tenants. Upstairs is currently vacant. But it's a good deal. So let me know. I'll put my information below if anyone is interested.
Dom, how many bedrooms is each unit?
There's 2 upstairs, there's 2 downstairs, and then there's another bedroom in the common area. So it's more like an office. But the size of a bedroom. But it's a 2-1 upstairs, a 2-2 downstairs. And then that one in the hallway.
Okay. Perfect. I may actually I got a guy who buys in those areas. He actually owns probably, I think, over 20 plus properties in that area there. I may be able to refer out to you. He's a cash buyer. That's all he does, all cash. So I'll get a hold of you later on if you want.
100%. Send them my way. I'm going to put my info in the chat. I know you have my number, Joe, but for anyone else.
Yeah, just in case, make sure you reach out because today, after this thing, I'm going to be like, I got to go straight to another property when I'm done here. So just please make sure. I don't want to forget. I don't want to do that to you, Don.
So you're just saying you're going to forget about me. It's okay.
No, that's it. I am jammed. I'll be more readily available after like 1 o'clock today, 1:30. So
No worries.
all right. Sorry, everybody. Who else?
Joe, I'll go. Good morning, everyone. My name is Gabriel, and I am looking for self-storage anywhere in the U.S. And I never really mentioned this before, but even in our own backyard here locally. The units, as far as square footage, 10,000 square feet and above, that translates to about maybe 70 units plus, more along the plus side if possible. Anything you come across anything you come across, please send it my way. And Scott and I will take a look at it. If the numbers work, we will pay a finder's fee as well. And preferably, not preferably, but I like off market. I don't want to deal with realtors. I didn't say that too loud, but so in any event though, anywhere in the US, but yes, if you know of anyone or know anyone that's even local in the Rochester area, please let me know. I will put my information in the chat box as well. And thanks, guys. Thank you.
No problem, Gabe. Who else?
Hey, guys.
Hi, everyone. Oh, go ahead.
Yes, Diane, and I'm looking for a four plus family, either Southern Monroe County. I live in Ontario County, and I could go Steuben near Bath if there's something there. I'm looking for that. And I have 7 acres of land near Sodus that will be going on the market if I don't find a buyer before, a few weeks. It's undeveloped, and yeah, I haven't actually seen it yet, so I'm going to in the next couple of days go up and see it. It's a friend who's selling that, so if you're looking for land.
Okay.
I can put my number in the chat too.
Perfect. By the way, is that zoned only residential?
Most likely. I have to get some more stats on it, but I believe so.
Okay. Okay. And there was somebody else.
Yeah, that was me. Hi, everybody. My name's Tracy, and I am wholesaling and would love to connect with cash buyers. So I'm going to put my name in the chat box for anybody who's interested.
Okay. Perfect. This is your first time on the call, Tracy?
No, I've
Oh,
been here.
okay. Perfect. All right. Okay. Who else? All right. I guess
Hi,
I'll go.
Joe.
Oh, go
It's
ahead.
Tiffany. Sorry, excuse my voice. I have a cold. Josh and I, obviously, I've mentioned it before, but I'll say it again. We're looking for properties over in that Virgin, Otis, Farley, Canton type area. We've picked up a bunch over there, but looking for more in that area and anything on the outskirts of that Gates Grease type of area. Single families, we don't really buy any duplex or anything bigger. Everything's all single family. So that's pretty much what we're looking for.
Perfect. Everybody put your information in the chat box, please.
Buenos dias. Thank you, Andy, for
Hey,
reminding me to come here.
No problem. Good to see you.
Thank you. And yeah, Sharon and I are looking for what I call a property to renovate. And eventually we may even look at some commercial. But so right now we're concentrating on a property to renovate and sell. And so Sharon and Luis Martinez, and I'll put my info in here. Thanks.
Perfect. Who else? Well, I'll say, first of all, I do everything, commercial, residential. I do the wholesale, do the whole gamut. I am also looking for a residential and commercial. I will look at some industrial. I do have a 2-family available in North Winton Village area. If it's still available, I'll know here very shortly. It's a 2-family occupied. That one is going to go for, I think, right around 160, give or take. It's worth more than that, obviously. It is occupied. If you are interested, get a hold of me, and I'll see if it's still, as far as I know, I think it's still possibly available. That area is so hot. I got to see. And then I'm going to have a single family 3 to 4 bedroom house available in the city. It's definitely is going to need some work. It's probably going to be ready in about, I think, maybe about 2 to 3 weeks. And we're going to get rid of that for probably right around, give or take, $29,000-$30,000. It's going to need a little bit of work. But it's mechanic. I mean, bones wise, it's in pretty good shape. So if you are interested, give me a call. And I know I'm forgetting something, but if I don't think of it, I'll mention it. Who else? Christmas is only 24 days away. There's got to be some Christmas wish list going on. Everybody's good? I guess so. First of all, I don't know if Scott's still on yet.
He hasn't shown up yet.
All right, no
We're still
problem.
scot-free.
No, sorry, he's still early for being late, so he's okay. So, all right. So, look, again, we always like to keep this live and interactive. All right. So, if you have anything you want to talk about, any deals you want to go over, any questions you may have, this is the time to ask, because we'll try to give the best, to the best of our ability, some advice. Some people may actually have questions on possibly a deal or what's going on in the market. I got topics I can go over if we have time in between questions or whenever, relative to a lot of the things that I've been seeing and a lot of the phone calls that I've been getting and other investors that I've been talking to. So before we even get anything like that, who has some questions or things that they want to go over? Please speak up and let us know here.
I got one, Joe.
Go ahead, Don.
Let's talk about being bankable. Okay, for the BRRRR strategy, cash out refi. A lot of us use one prominent bank in Rochester, which is Canandaigua National, but I'm looking to explore other banks that people have used and have had experience with. So I'm open to hearing who people have used that's similar to the product that Canandaigua National has, which is an 80% LTV, cash out refi. So if anybody has anything, please let me know.
I'll just say that Lions, I've heard a lot of people talking about them going pretty much duplicating the Canandaigua model and going aggressively after Canandaigua's customers. So you might want to give them a call.
Okay. Yeah. I've spoke with Lions already. They are one. I've spoke with Family First also. And I think that was it that I've spoken with so far. But I appreciate that, Andy.
Yeah, I was actually going to recommend Family First. Did you talk to Alan Tomedy over there?
Yeah, I talked to Alan. The only thing I didn't personally was it was more of a commercial compared to the residential that CMB offers. So the rate's a little higher and it takes a little longer compared to CMB, based on what he told me.
Yeah. Now, I mean, I did a portfolio loan with them, and they were pretty easy to work with because they're a smaller bank. You have to go to the board, and they gave me some, they were like, listen, we got to do this for 3 years, and I got them to extend it out. I think it was 5 years or 7. I can't even remember right now, but because they're a smaller bank, they were able to do that. But of course, I was doing a bunch of properties too, Dom. So I don't know how many. I don't know. You're just talking about one property. You may not have as much leeway.
No, I hear you. And I know a lot of these banks are relationship based. I have a great relationship with CMB. It's just, they cap you at a certain point. So it's just time to explore other options.
Are you looking to do the cash out to basically be able to just put money aside, or what?
Well, just cash out and BRRRR it, just use it for another property. I don't like to fully leverage personally, take the whole 80, but I like to just make sure I'm able to pull my money back out so I can pay my lenders.
Now, I don't know if anyone else is, well, first off, I want to see if I got something I want to ask you, but who else has worked in it with any other banks here that can recommend it down? Guess that's it. I think there was another, was it North? I can't remember what tech it's called. Oh God, there's another bank that I know, a guy I know works with them, and they've been really good to him. And they're local. There's not very many branches. I know there's one on Empire Boulevard and Plank Road, right there on the corner, and then there's another one somewhere else. God, if I remember it, Dom, I'll let you know.
Okay.
Dom, I got a question for you. Like, and everybody's different, because look, when whenever you do the Burr method, your end goal is to basically refinance it out and pull money out. Okay. One of the things that I've been seeing and I've been noticing is that now when I pull, when I did my refi, that was me. Again, what works for me may not be the same for anybody else there, and that's okay. I didn't want to go the full 80% because could I pulled it out? Yes. But I wanted to make sure, because look, the market was going up, but it's never going to keep going up. So I knew if there was a correction, I wanted to make sure I was in a position of strength, not of weakness, in regards to being right there on the line as far as for being upside down. Now, are you going for the full, which you can, there's nothing wrong with it. Understand this with everybody, are you going after the full 80%? Or what's your comfort level, in doing that? And I want to hear from other people who've actually done those too.
So when I first started, Joe, I was pulling the full 80 because I was short on capital and I needed to build up, capital to move forward and keep going and build reserves. So yes, but now based on some of these appraisal numbers that I'm getting, I'm just like, wow, these are astronomical. Like some of these are very, very high. I got a couple in some not so good areas that appraised for some crazy numbers. And I'm like, there's no way, so I don't want to over leverage myself on those. So now, as I have more now, I'm a little financially better. I don't need to fully leverage these just in case, the exit strategy. You always got to be ready to offload these things quickly, just in case. So to answer your question, no, I'm not fully, leveraging the 80% right now. No, I'm not.
Okay. So you and I are kind of like in the same type of thinking with that. And by the way, who else, has anyone else here done that yet? As far as we're doing the Burr method, just buying it, rehabbing it, renting it out, and then refinancing it out. Who else has done that here?
We've done that, Joe. We've done that a few times, actually. Bought them, rehabbed them. I've rented them out for some pretty good numbers, and then we get them in there and we refinance it right away. I have a couple out there right now.
Mm-hmm.
It's working in our favor. It seems to be going well. So,
it's a great way to do things. I always find it interesting. Do some people leverage it to the max? I mean, what are you? How have you been doing it? Have you been pulling as much money as you can, or are you been a little bit more on the cautious side?
Josh handles a lot of that himself, so I see parts of it, I hear parts of it. I think some of them he's done the max, some of them he's only done, he's been a little more cautious, and a lot of that is the same as Dom, where you realize like that's great, that's awesome, but that exit strategy is probably not going to match that. So he's real big on checking and cross-checking those numbers and stuff like that. I try to get as much into it as I can, but property managing them all myself, I leave a little bit to him to do.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah, because I mean, I've actually bought properties from people who did that, maxed it out as much as they could, took the money. Obviously, they bought more properties. They had to sell it. They actually had to take money out of their pocket. Now, in the long run, did they still make money? Probably, but at the time when they had to take, $5,000, $10,000, $15,000 out of their pocket, it hurts at that time. But then again, if they took that money and made up for it somewhere else, it's not so bad. Not everybody's going to be in that position. That's how come I want to make sure that I'm not, excuse me, I want to make sure I'm not leveraged out. Like for me, I'm only leveraged somewhere around 52%. Okay. And that makes me feel comfortable because Rochester, we have little blips. It doesn't go down like all these other places do. It gives me peace of mind that if something happens and I have to get rid of these things tomorrow, I know I can sell them, no problem at all. But that's what works for me. And by the way, we're not telling everybody else to do the exact same thing on this, on this Zoom call. Whatever works for you, if it's working, stick to it. Okay. Dom, I mean, did we answer what you wanted to get answered? Anyone want to add on to? Remember, we want to keep this interactive. I don't want to be the only one talking here.
No, I mean, it helped for sure, Joe, just hearing about LMB and Family First. I just want to keep my options open, especially with the way the market's changing and the economy's changing. Want to be able to spread it out a little bit for sure.
Yeah. And plus you pulling out the money, get prepared. Because, there's good, price dropping is happening right now as it is. And at least that way you'll have cash to be able to jump on opportunities.
Yep.
Okay. Anyone else have any other questions, things you want to go over? Please, we want to keep this interactive. So don't be afraid to ask. I know there's shy people on here. Am I going to do an awkward silence pause?
Joe, can I talk about something real quick?
Absolutely.
It's kind of an encouragement, I guess, to people that just overall, and we always talk about time and circumstance, T&C. And I want to share a little story real quick. About 3 weeks ago, I was done, making my calls for the day, and I was towards the end of the day. And so I'm like, okay, let me clean up my CRM a little bit, see what's going on. And what happened was, and experience always teaches you things. Through time and experience, it always teaches you new things. And I look back at my CRM from what I did a year ago, and I look at my contacts, and I look at it, and I'm like, how many times I've contacted these facilities? And it's a number of times contacted. One, I go, what the hell is my problem? What I know now, what I didn't know back then. And what happened was, what I did was I set it up so that from a year ago, I would say September 21 on, I flooded my CRM to call them again. And a lot of them, though, they said they're not interested in selling the facility. I don't know how many calls I made so far. I didn't really count, but the interesting part is that they said no a year ago, but I got 3 leads that said yes this week. I mean, it's just so interesting how the TNC really, really works. And I just think it's encouraging to me because to see it come to fruition in my own, do work and stuff like that. It's just interesting how, things can change. In fact, I had one guy yesterday. I forgot what state he is in. I had to look it up, but neither here nor there right now. But the point is that he said no last year, but the poor guy's fighting cancer right now, so he needs to sell, And so he said to me, well, when I fight this thing in battle, I'll call you back. I don't know how to follow them. I'll figure that out myself later. But it's unfortunate. It does suck. It really does. No matter what. But it's just funny how things change. Not in that cancer, I'm saying in other aspects of life, and just how interesting it is when people say no, and now they say, yeah, I want to sell for one reason or the other, and I'm just trying to encourage everyone, stay on these people. So now my follow-up, I'm going to almost to the point, like you said before, till you give me a restraining order and take me off my do not call list, I'm going to hound you because you will say yes someday, because it happened to me. So I'd like to encourage everyone to stay on these suckers, because someday, somehow, they will say yes. I promise you that. I'm living proof. I'm sure everyone else is, but it was really cool. It was just really encouraging for me. I just want to share that with you guys.
And just so everybody knows, most people probably do if you don't, Gabe focuses on storage facilities, and those have way more zeros, and sometimes they have 2 commas in those deals. Okay. So they're, he's out there doing those calls, and by the way, a lot of us will do these types of calls, do cold calls, and everything that he's doing, you can do the exact same thing, which we're doing in residential properties. Okay. And this is a statistic that I heard a long time ago. Okay. when it comes to, especially when it comes to making those types of calls. And it relates to basically sales, because you're doing same thing that a salesperson does when they call. And I love what Gabe was talking about, because statistically wise, they looked at all the salespeople and their earnings. Okay, the ones that follow up with leads once or twice are usually broke. The ones that did between 7 and 8 times follow up on each one of the leads were averaging in the high multiple 6 figures into the 7+ figure range. Okay. So understand that. So whenever I talk to people, like, well, I called them 2 times, 3 times. Okay. I go, you got at least 4 more times. Okay. So understand that, you know, and when I learned that, I was like, I never bitched anymore about having to call the same person 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 times. Okay. And Gabe is a living testament to that right there. All right. And Gabe, for you, whenever, you know, one of the things when people, like that guy you were talking to says, okay, I got cancer, and then and you don't know how to follow up with that. What I do is, I'm not telling everybody to do this, but one of the things I say to them, I say, look, I hope you don't sell this property, because that means you kick cancer's ass. So here's the deal. I'm going to call you next month, and you better answer that damn phone, because that tells me you're winning. Okay. I don't care about buying the property. I know how hard it is as far as what you're going through, and I respect that. I don't care about buying the property. I'm going to call you just to make sure that you're out there fighting a good fight. That's how I leave it. And then I call, and if you call up, say, hey, I don't want to talk about your facility. I just wanted to make sure you answered the phone. This is Gabe. We talked. I told you I was going to call you. And then you say, by the way, I might just hang up the phone on you, because now I'm going to call you back in another month or something to that fact, you know, and handle that accordingly.
All right. That's cool. That's really cool.
Yeah, because that way you're showing that, you know what, you're not calling about the property, you know, you're actually calling for them. And it makes them smile and gives them a little bit of a lift, some happiness. And they'll remember you.
Yeah. That's a good idea, man. Thank you for that. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Anyone want to add on to that, by the way?
Yeah. Oh, go ahead, whoever was going to go. I'm the late joiner, so I'll let the other person go.
Oh, he's here.
I'm here. Okay, whoever was going to say something, feel free. But yeah, what Joe just said right there, you think about these things, but then you don't either. But, subconsciously, when you're thinking about those things, if those things you think about subconsciously, all of a sudden you'll think of them while you're on a call. And what a difference maker that is. I'm sure all of you went, oh, wow, that's a real differentiator right there between you and every other person that's calling them to sell their house, to sell their storage facility or whatever. I mean, that was just outstanding. And that's something that Joe, Gabe, and I talk about a lot, is time and circumstances. And Joe, I learned that from Joe, just, everybody's time and circumstance happens to all of us, and that happens to everybody. And, that's why you just stay in and stay their friend and keep doing it. So that was a real good reminder, Joe. Thanks a lot. And Gabe, I know he's out there grinding it, and he's making calls and making contacts and making connections. It's not so much making contacts, but he's making good connections with people. And that's what you want to do with people who are looking to sell these things, because a lot of them, it's their babies, and, making that personal connection with them is going to make all the difference in the world. So that's really good advice there, Gabe and Joe.
And by the way, Scott, for those of you who don't know, that's Scott Spear. He's the better half of this Zoom call that I do with. And so I'm glad you're able to get on, Scott. I heard you're in the North Carolinas.
Yeah. Sorry I'm late, everybody. I just had another commitment that I had to take care of first. So But yeah, glad to be on, glad to be with you guys now. Enjoy just sitting back, listening to people ask questions. So.
And by the way, anyone have anything to add on to that also?
Wait, Joe, real quick, I just want to say one more thing, please. I'm sorry.
Yeah, go ahead.
And one more thing it taught me though is that is the ones that they only contacted just one time a year ago. You know, now that I know more, I should, so to speak. Now that I know more, I know now to because I called them in the past 2 weeks as well. And they didn't answer or left voicemails. Now they're here and they're there, because now what's going to happen is that I'm going to keep calling them until they answer the phone, or they just block me, because I've been blocked before too, by the way. I just want you guys know that it happened. So, but in any event though, I'm going to keep calling, because now the knowledge that I've gained, the experience that I've gained, one is not going to keep calling them until they answer or what have you. But number two, knowing what I know now from what has happened through the leads I've generated, you know, from doing that as well. So, it's taught me a lot, and again, I think it's pretty thinking cool. So,
and Gabe, to add on to that, think of it this way, Gabe. Now, I'm not going to tell everybody, but you've mentioned before what you've done in the last year in assignments between you and Scott, which is in the multiple six figures. I'm not going to tell everybody, it's up to you. So one thing I think about is, okay, out of the leads that you got, out of the deals that you closed, how many times did you have to call them? Okay, that's what I would go back and try to figure out. And then I'd be like, you know, and obviously you're going back to the ones that you didn't get. You're going to, I assume you're going to, those part of the ones you're going to be calling back, right?
yes.
So the deals that you got, how many of them do you think you got just by calling them or trying to contact the sellers the first time?
Well, first two I got lucky on. The first time I called them, they said yes. I look, I'm sorry, it happens, you know. It just
Yeah. No, that's good. That's good. I want people to see. I want people to know.
But the other ones though, you know, I had to they said no, but yeah, I called them. I don't even know how many times I had to call them, but the thing is, they like me, they like talking to me. And some people just say, "Oh, you got a new friend." I'm like, "Yeah, I'm going to be your best friend if you sell to me." So, you know, but I didn't say that. But, you know, again, I can't tell you how many times it took, but you know, it's just that all it takes is that one phone call. That's all.
So what I'm saying though is that a majority of them was you were able to get, because it wasn't just on the first call; it was multiple calls.
Yes. Well.
Multiple follow-ups.
Right. Okay. Yes. Multiple follow-ups. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Because some people, they get involved. Say, okay, I'm going to call, I'm going to go do this. So I'm going to put out an ad, or I'm going to put out something on Facebook, or I'm going to make one phone call and I'm going to get that deal. And just not realistic. Would love it. You know?
Yeah.
So
I'm going to call somebody out who's being like the silent ninja here. He has not spoke up yet since I've been on for a little bit. We're talking about wholesaling and making calls and stuff like that. So Barrington, you know it's coming. We're going to call you out. Tell us a little bit about your experiences in wholesaling and grinding out calls and things like that. So if anybody doesn't know, Barrington may have said it already. He's written a book, pretty cool thing. He travels all over the world. He couch surfs at a lot of places. In other words, he sleeps in people's houses. And Barrington is a grinder. I mean, he did it. I mean, he grounded out for a lot of years. He worked real hard, and now he's enjoying the fruits of that labor. So, but Barrington, go ahead, give your input. I would appreciate it if you would.
Thank you, Scott. I appreciate the kind words. Yeah, following up is key. That's how I got the majority of all my deals throughout the past 10 years is following up. Like Joe mentioned, I would reach out to each lead at least 7 or 8 times or more. I just recently put 2 deals under contract from following up. I just went over my old leads and started reaching out to them via phone call, text message, and email, and 2 of them accepted my offer. So I'll be closing on those hopefully this year. So yeah, the majority of all the deals I've ever gotten in the portfolio that I've created over the 10 years was from following up. Yeah.
Yeah. Barrington, on some of those deals, did you run into the same circumstances as Gabe? First they said no, and then you called back a little bit later, and then things changed.
Oh yeah, I always get a no. It doesn't bother me. I get tons of no's. Just looking for that one yes. There's been occasions where it only took one call, but there's been many more occasions where it took multiple calls. And yeah, I always hear no. I hear no every day. It doesn't bother me though. So they put me on the do not call list. I'm going to reach back out. So yeah, it definitely works for sure. For sure.
And Barrington, you focus on residential properties, right?
Yes, residential. Yep, single families, multi-families here in Rochester and Caledonia, New York.
Okay. And Gabe focuses on commercial storage facilities.
Mm-hmm.
But everybody, it's still, the practical application applies to all facets of the real estate market.
Yeah. Yep.
Exactly. And some people too, and Barrington and Gabe, when they talked about, you guys talking about the circumstances change. Some people I talk to, they're like, well, I can't imagine it happening outside of residential properties, or I can't imagine it happening in the nicer areas.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't matter. Now for you, Barrington, because I don't want to just telling people, are you finding the people with the circumstances are in good areas, bad areas? Where are you finding them?
I'm finding them in all different areas. I primarily focus on A and B locations and C+ locations. That's my primary focus, but sometimes things will come across my desk that may be in the C- or D neighborhood. But yeah, they're all over. Time changes circumstances for anyone. Doesn't matter if you're in the suburbs, city, doesn't matter.
Mm-hmm.
The time will change for us as we grow older. So yeah.
That's exactly right.
Mm-hmm.
And I know, I don't know about you. Do you ever get people asking you questions? Do you have people that come up to you and talk to you? Hey, listen, you're finding these people who are in these situations. I know I've been getting those kinds of calls from other investors. What are you telling them? Have you been getting any of those? And what do you tell people?
What type of calls? Like, what do you mean?
Well, a lot of times I'll get people who just, they say everybody I talk to has a white picket fence house and they have a white picket fence type lifestyle and there's no problems. Okay. And they hear about everybody else finding these issues, whether it be a hoarding issue, divorce issue, death, whatever, unemployment, whatever,
Mm-hmm.
So some people are having issues finding that. And I'm telling people it's going on everywhere.
Oh yeah, for sure. It's definitely going on everywhere in A, B, or C locations. Property owners are aging. People are relocating. Right now we're going into not so good times. So it's spread all across the board, I would say. Like I said, I've gotten deals in Penfield, Fairport, Webster, City of Rochester, 19th Ward, North Winton Village. So they're definitely out there. You just have to be consistent, and even when it feels like it's not working. So that's the key as far as lead generation. You have to be consistent, even when it feels like it's not working. So and keep following up. It may take a year or so. I just had a friend, Frank Barker, that used to be a part of FFREIA. he gave his business card to a mailman like 10 years ago, and the mailman reached out to him recently to sell his property over in the Irondequoit. Yeah, but it's just consistency. That's it.
Yeah. And
There are going to be more leads, obviously, in the B and C locations and the D locations or whatnot. But they're definitely in the A locations as well.
yeah, and I actually have and to add on to what Barrington was saying and what Gabe was talking about, I recently, about a month or so ago, we ended up getting a lead in the city of Rochester, but it's right downtown. It's a building, okay? And the exact same thing that happens in residential can also happen in commercial. So I talked to them, you know, actually I kept trying to call. I called probably at least four times, at least. And then I ended up calling again, got a hold of the guy, talked to him. Well, we're not, and I've always wanted to own a building in downtown Rochester. This is like a 9-story building right in Rochester. And the guy goes, well, we're not really going to be interested in selling, you know, whatever. And so when I followed up with him again, he opened up. It may have been the 5th or 6th time call or whatever. Okay. And all of a sudden, he's got problems. There's a lot of problems. It's a building that they own. There's, you know, just under 50 units. Next thing you know, this was yesterday. This literally just happened yesterday. All of a sudden, you know, I'm talking because he opened up to me on the phone. I was talking with the son, and they own multiple buildings in California. They had just one here. And next thing you know, he calls up and says, hey, my dad's in town. You want to meet him? We go over there. I said, yeah, we were over there within an hour and a half. I said, sure. I mean, this is a multi, you know, 7+ figure deal. And we go over there and this guy, I mean, I was there, Brandy and I, we were there together looking at it. And the guy was like distraught almost, you know, he was so upset. You know, he paid just shy of $2 million, says he put another $1 million into it, and is only, it's 95% vacant, and the other 7 or 8 people left in there have to be evicted. Okay. And he's going to take a huge hit. And I mean, I felt bad for the guy. I thought the guy at one point was literally going to start crying. So time and circumstances have hit this person. He goes, we just want out. Matter of fact, this guy flew in his workers with him from California because he trusts them to work on the properties. Okay. And just to keep it, just to maintain it as a vacant building. Okay. So they're out there. They really are. And that was, I don't know, 5 or 6 calls I had to make. Will anything come out of it? I don't know. He knows he's going to take a hit on it. And then, you know, there's whole other circumstances, which I won't even get into. It's just that everything that Barrington and Gabe were talking about holds true across the board. I don't care if it's residential, commercial, industrial. The follow-ups and time and circumstances all come in together. Okay.
Yeah, I would say a good example. Scott Spear and I and Bob Napier, we purchased a 4-unit over on Rutgers Street off of Park Ave some years ago, and that was a short sale, and that's in the A location. It was a phenomenal deal. Yeah, and that was in the A location. The owner lived in California, but that's a very good example of a distressed property owner or property in a better neighborhood.
Yeah, okay. That definitely is a great area. And you guys didn't call me on that deal?
We should have kept it.
I would have kept it.
I regret selling that one. We got it for like 80 something.
On Rutgers?
On Rutgers.
Are you guys crazy?
Yeah.
All right, get off this
Yeah.
call. I can't take it.
I regret it. I regret telling it.
It's fantastic. And by the way, anyone want to add on to this thing here? We like participation from other people. We don't like shy people on here. We got some shy people on here, Scott.
I'm just glad you're talking about it. Just, it gives a lot of encouragement to just keep going when you know, like the no's or, yeah, the discouragement, but to hear that there's, there's success. And even the place that I bought took 2 years. I wrote a letter and yeah, it took time. And the first he said no, and I just kept writing. And it wasn't even phone calls. I had to write letters for this one because he was a lot older.
Yeah.
So yeah, just to keep going and the CRM, just to keep track of everything too, is a good idea.
You know, and that was Diane speaking, right?
Yep.
Yeah, I can't tell where the computer way it's set up. I don't know. So,
Okay.
Dan, the way I think of it is we get paid to hear no's and we get rewarded when we hear a yes. That's
I
the only
like
way
it.
I think of it. Okay. And
Yeah.
once you realize I heard no, well, that's part. And what I think of it is that no was, you know, and I equate it to whatever your last check was, whether you're doing wholesaling, whether it was a rental check or a flip, you know, for a check for flipping. That no you just heard was part of, you know, if you made $30,000 on that flip and you hear a no, okay, well, that was part of the payment that I had to pay to receive that check. You get paid for no's, get rewarded for yeses.
I like it. Yeah.
It helps me. Scott, you got anything you want to add over there?
Hey, Joe, this is Luis. Sharon and I went to Las Vegas a couple of weeks ago, and I brought back two things. COVID, I was sick for about 8 days. And we were there with like 1,000 people on a real estate investment conference in beautiful new location in next to Caesar's Palace. Anyway, I've been to Las Vegas many times, and it's, for me, it's a drag going there, to be honest with you. But anyway, what I brought back was that here we are in Rochester, you know, kind of cold, and you know, we know all the circumstances of real estate in Rochester, but the people that we met with there, which are mostly from the West Coast and the middle, sort of middle South, from Tennessee, Texas, everything like that, and they're really excited about real estate investing, and they're really optimistic, and of course did a lot of networking, collecting a lot of business cards and so forth. So there's a real excitement out there about real estate that we picked up, and we picked up a lot of tips and suggestions and so forth. And I'm hearing here, you know, about following up, and that's true. And the people who were leading the conference, that's what they did. They discussed all of their mistakes that they made getting started, and they discussed the numbers, the financials, and so forth. And so we came back very excited about what we can do, although we're kind of here in Rochester. Nevertheless, we're still excited about that. And we picked up business cards from people who say they want to do business with us in California and in Florida and in Georgia and in Tennessee and all, which is really interesting. And we're not going to give them the benefit of our failure in terms of what we know and don't know. But my point is that we'll work it out one day so that we do business with them, but not yet. I actually got to return a couple of phone calls from Georgia and Tennessee on that. But the point is that it was very instructive. Sharon and I learned a lot. We came back excited, and now that I'm past the quit part, I can get back to work.
Glad to see you're better. You know, well, quick question for you, Luis. What are you and Sharon going to do differently? Because obviously you're about to go into 2023, and you know,
not necessarily differently. I think that all it does is frankly reinforce to be patient, to be what do you call it, persistent, patient, and deliberate, and continue to focus on the things that we're talking about here, like following up and such. So I didn't come back with any magic bullet except, to be patient. That then after that, it gets a little technical about, interest rates and what to think about that. And well, if you go to my website that Sharon wrote, by the way, if you go to crossgatesproperties.com, you will see a blog that I wrote about when Sharon and I paid an 18% mortgage. And that's because we had good credit. The people who had not so good credit paid 21% mortgage. And that was back in the early 80s. And we made money after buying, paying 18% mortgage, selling, and so forth several times. And we still made money on every house. We didn't lose any money on any house. So I'm not as afraid of a 7% interest rate. But we have to be patient because people are afraid of a 7% interest rate, mortgage rate. But I'm not afraid of that. And we just have to be patient until the things calm down. And then people will get either used to it or they'll come down or whatever it is. People eventually have to make a move, people just like we did. And so that doesn't bother me. But the numbers have to be right. The ARV is the top number. And after that, you have to work everything out underneath it so that you can at least clear some profit and not lose your shirt. And that remains constant. So it's a matter of finding, Sharon and I have turned down a few properties, as some of you know. And it's because the numbers didn't add up. And I've saw people buying a property at a number that I thought was just outrageous. Whether they make money or not, it's not my concern, but I'm not going to do that, because it's just the numbers aren't there. So.
Yep. Anyone want to add on to that? I know that in regards to patience, I've been having these conversations with so many different people. Scott, I don't know if you've been getting those phone calls, because some people are like, I got to find something. Have you been getting those at all, Scott?
Yeah. And it's hard to get them just to kind of take a breath for a minute. I'll put it out this way. About 8 months ago or so, my son was looking to buy a house out in California. And I was telling him, I said, hold on, just wait, just something's happening, something's going to turn, just wait. And he's like, but Dad, my friends are buying these houses and they're making, $80,000, $100,000 in a year. I said, I understand that. I said, but just wait. And I was talking to him, matter of fact, just a couple nights ago, and he said he's glad he waited because he's seen the turn. Some of these houses that he would have paid almost $600,000 for now are selling for the prices are being reduced and stuff like that. So he's and it was tough. I mean, he was kind of headstrong and wanted to go forward and buy, and I understood, and I said, but just wait. And but even in the self-storage business, I feel there's going to be a big shift coming in the market. Just be ready for it. Have your lenders lined up. That's going to be the most important thing. Is a person comes in with cash offers is going to win. And we've been talking about this, that banks are, I don't want to sound like the Grim Reaper, but banks are actually starting to be able to foreclose on people. It's unfortunate that people weren't able to pay their mortgages or chose not to pay their mortgages. And now banks are able to start foreclosing on people. I think you're going to see a lot of bank foreclosures coming on. We see them now, and I think it's just the start of a wave. So you got bank foreclosures, you got short sales that are coming up. So the people who are in a position to just be patient, wait, have your money ready, there's going to be some money made out there in that. It's very unfortunate that people are being foreclosed on, but in my opinion, the banks are in business to make money. If banks start losing money, what happens to that's our money at the banks. So if they start losing money on these properties, that affects everybody. So what I'm saying is just wait, but be ready. And I think 2023 for the people who are positioned right is going to be a very, very good year. You're going to be able to help a lot of people. And that's the thing too, is you got these people who can't make their mortgage payments. They need to do a short sale. And Barrington knows this better than me. People's credit wise, a short sale is better on their credit report than a foreclosure. So if you can get in there and help these people, that's what you're doing. You're going in and you're helping people out of a situation, and everybody wins. That's the way I look at it. So just be ready. So
That's great advice, Scott.
hope that helps.
I know. And one of the things I have noticed about Scott is, especially when he talks about patience, and I don't care whatever type of real estate you're in, doesn't matter what business you're in. When you're patient, you know, your mentality is anticipation, which means you are anticipating something is going to be switching. The people who are impatient, their mentality ends up becoming reactive, because now they're like, okay, like, let's just say his son bought that house for $600,000. Now let's just say it's worth only $480,000, and something happens. Everything has to stay perfect. So that way a person, maybe his son, whatever, doesn't want to lose that house or whatever. He's got to be in a reactive state at all times, because if something happens, you have to sell that property. And let's just say his mortgage is $550,000 and he has to dump it to save whatever. He may have to, he's going to be in a reactive position and situation, because now he's have to come up with $70,000 if he owes $550,000 and it's only worth $480,000. Okay. So there's a big difference for anticipation versus always trying to be reactive in whatever situation you're in. Okay. Any comments, anything on that?
You know, Joe, that's interesting you bring that up, because if I may add real quick, back in my former life of the restaurant industry business, I was constantly putting fires out. And the thing is that, I in this real estate investments that I'm doing now, or being a buyer, I'm still learning. 2 years later, I'm still learning to have more patience, because I had no patience. Well, I had to be reactive. That makes sense. But I had to be very reactive, because like you said, I was constantly putting fires out, and I had to be quick to respond. And 30 seconds in the kitchen is an eternity. So it's very difficult for me still, I'm going to be honest with you, to transition and have that patience. Like I said, I'm making these follow-up calls. I'm like, are you going to say yes tomorrow? Let's go. It's like, it's just interesting. And I got this one guy I've been dealing with for a year. Believe it, I just remembered him, Louisiana. He's getting divorced, and divorce takes forever in some states. And the thing is, though, he and his wife want to sell, but I gotta wait. In any event, though, it's just the challenge is the patience part. And from what I did to what I'm doing now, it's tough, but it can be done. It can be done. It's just but it's a very, very excellent point to be very patient. But the patient, good thing comes, those wait. I know, but it's true. It's very true. You get very rewarded when you have that patience. It helps.
Now for you, Gabe, when you're going in patience, which is an anticipation mentality, not a reactive mentality, how has it been for you business wise, financially wise, and stress wise?
Well, business wise, everything's been better. Let's put it that way. From what I did to what I'm doing now, and my patience, teach me that patience, shows me that, well, if I'm patient enough, and here's the deal, it's teaching me that it will come. And when it comes, like I keep on telling everybody, man, that check, let's go to town, you know, it's really cool. I mean, I'm sorry, I don't mean to quote, I'm not trying to say it like that, but it just teaches me that the patience works. It freaking works. And my stress level has just gone way down because, well, I'm not constantly putting fires up, but that's, you know, whatever, but it just freaking works. And the reward system is just such that it's just, now I know. I'm like, you idiot, why didn't you just listen to yourself before, you know? So that, I hope that answers your question, Joe, but it definitely helps. And it's been better.
Yeah, we just want people to see what the difference is, because, you know, you're doing it slow and methodical. You and Scott are finding some unbelievable deals. Scott's able to travel around the country in his mansion on wheels. I call it McMansion with wheels, because of the patience, you know, and I could tell who the people who are reactive, because they're like, Joe, I got this property, I got to get rid of it. Oh my God, I pay too much, or I was doing this because I was impatient. Reactive right there. And there's a big difference. You get a phone call, it's like, Joe, I got this property, I bought it for, you know, X amount, it's worth way more than that. I think I just want to get rid of it. You know, it's a much calmer, much stress-free conversation, you know. And I just had that conversation a couple of days ago with a friend of mine. And so it's a really big difference. Please, I want people to add on to this and participate. Let us know if you're actually learning from this or anything as far as for your own experiences with this. We like to learn from each other. Scott, I think this is the shyest group we've ever had. I think we may have lost Scott. Oh, I think Scott's gone. Well, here's
I'm
one.
back. I was muted. I'm sorry, Joe.
No, that's okay.
Why I was muted. But the reason the group is so quiet, Joe, is 2022 is almost over, and they all must be thinking about their 2023 goals, right? Is that what's going on, Joe?
I was actually going to ask people, because I was going to transition right into, in order to be able to be in a situation where you can be patient and be able to get deals and not be reactive. What do you have to do to get better, to be able to get what you didn't get in get what you want in 2023 versus what you weren't able to get in 2022? You know, I want to hear from people. Don't make Scott call you out, because you know he will.
As far as what our goals are for 2023, or
goals and what you need to do above and beyond to get what you want to get in 2023, what you didn't get or were not able to get in 2022. I want to know.
One thing that's been working for me lately, I've been waking up around 4, 5 a.m. It's been absolutely amazing. I'm able to get so much work done before, 10 a.m. when the rest of the world is awake. So that has helped me out tremendously in the past few weeks. I want to keep that going. As far as goals, I write down all my goals. I've been writing them down for years. That helps them come to fruition. I read them every day. But those are some of the things that have helped me, be successful. Yeah.
Great. That's great, Barrington. Who else?
Like my goals for 2023 would be to finish the current project and get renters in there and be able to purchase another property. So and definitely it'll be, I learned a lot from 2022. It was very helpful last year setting goals. I think it was the first meeting I attended was the first one of the year. And so we had to set goals. So I had just decided probably a month earlier that we should go ahead and try to purchase something. But it was at that meeting that I was like, okay, well, I'll set my goal for June, that I need to purchase something by June, which seemed quite intimidating, right? That was the first time where I actually kind of put it down on, by this date, I want to try to purchase something. We actually did, we were able to, I was able to meet that goal about a month earlier than that. But yeah, it's definitely been a big learning process, it being the first one, and it being a monster renovation, which was the last thing that we wanted to do. And we did not anticipate having to do such a big renovation. So yeah, just being able to finish it up and get it rented, and then being able to start the next one. And now I essentially have everything that I need knowledge-wise to at least do it a different way this time around.
So Allison, do you think in 2023 you've learned that, I mean, even though you have the ability to do that now, do you think you're going to take on a much bigger, deeper flip, or are you thinking you're going to possibly go further, faster, take on properties that are not going to need as much work? What are you going to do?
I think that I'll probably do something very similar to, probably similar to the scope, but in all likelihood, is, similar or a little smaller. With the property that we purchased, it was going to need, a $60,000 renovation. But there were so many things that were, even though we insisted on having our own inspection and everything, there was a lot that they hid. The property was vacant. And so it's just things like, in one room, there's a ceiling light and a wall switch, but no wire connecting the two of them. There's just like a lot of, and then the person, the inspector, made a lot of assumptions that to shore up the bottom floor just needed, a couple lolly columns and a few cistern, like, $1,500, $2,000 worth. And that was definitely not the case. So there's just a lot that was hidden. So now I feel like I know, I essentially have my Rolodex full of all of the people that I need to, to get the various parts of it done. And I also have a much better sense of the steps that are involved, because with our renovation, I handed it to a contractor, hired a contractor, said, here's what we need to have done. How much will it cost? And I wanted to have a considerable amount of control. That's something that Stacy Steele had recommended to me, is to try to, and it was very hard I could only find one contractor who was willing to allow me to purchase the materials. And fortunately, he's a friend of a close friend of mine. So I had some measure of trust, that I always knew that he wasn't going to stiff me, that if he did, I could make his life kind of hellish. But if I had to go back, I would have done things much more piecemeal. I just didn't have the knowledge at that point to even know what to do or what, order of things.
So what do you think, what's your goal going to be for 2023 then? What are you looking to do?
To finish up this renovation. Hopefully I'm hoping to finish it, to have it done by February, get someone in.
Then what?
And then I have my eye on a property that I want to try to acquire. So
Wait, your own what property?
I have my eye on a property.
Oh, okay. All
that right. I want to try to acquire. It's all going to come down to, when the dust settles and when I refinance and see, because we had to dump a whole lot of our personal money into the renovation, to make up the difference. So it all comes down to how much cash do we end up with, and what can we do with that? So.
Okay, so your goal is to finish up the property and then start another one.
Yeah.
Okay, and then so the second one you're looking to buy. what kind of time frame are you looking at?
I mean, I will, as soon as I know that I have some cash to buy it, I will start the process of contacting the people that need to be contacted to acquire it.
Better hope somebody else doesn't acquire it first. Whenever
Yeah,
someone tells me I try or I hope.
Yeah.
Well, no, that's, I mean, it's very possible that someone else could acquire it before I have the means to acquire it. It's just that at this point in time, you know, we're scraping the bottom of the barrel just to finish this project. We just had to empty our accounts, you know, to do it. So, so I can't go out and start trying to acquire this other property until I know that we can fully pay for this one.
I think
So.
Barrington or someone's trying to say something
Yeah.
else.
Allison, you can't borrow private or hard money to start the process to purchase the property now instead of waiting.
So
perhaps?
there's, I mean, we might have to borrow some personal money to finish our current renovation. We had to take out a mortgage on the current property in order to finish it. However, our experience with the bank was not good in that it took, they said it takes 30 to 60 days to close. It took over 120.
Yeah.
And then they only gave us, it was like an $86,000 mortgage, and they only gave us 30 of it. They're holding on to the other 50 until we finish the renovation. As soon as we finish the renovation, I know I'll have, you know, 50 coming our way, which will be good. But you know, like, we borrowed against my life insurance policy. We just, you know, recently, you know, we had a couple of family members saying that they could loan us some money if we need to, and just in order to finish this renovation. But those people who are lending it, it's not, you know, it's designed to be a very short-term kind of, like, just to get us over the finish line of this massive renovation.
But, have you explored using like hard money lenders?
I haven't. I got to run.
Okay.
Yeah, I have to take my husband to the airport. But I'll put my details in the chat, and then maybe we can talk more, because I definitely would be interested. I'm not as familiar with all the different financing.
Okay.
No problem.
So,
But yeah, but Joe, that sounds like a good idea to explore hard money to pursue the property now instead of waiting, right? What do you think, Joe?
Yeah, I would. I mean, well, yeah, I mean, for me, I'd be like, if the numbers work, I'm all over it. But then again, I'm comfortable with that too. And you're comfortable with that too, Barrington. I don't know how comfortable Allison is, but I agree with you, but that's us. So don't take what we say as gospel.
Yep, correct. Right.
Yeah. So
okay, I'll put my my contacts here, and then
thanks,
Allison. Yeah, if you can send me. Well, yeah, I gotta run, but
all right.
Okay.
Thanks, Allison. All right. Who else?
She's not in Rochester, New York, correct, Joe?
She's in California right now.
California,
It is
okay.
Yeah, right now it is almost 7:30 in the morning. Oh, wow.
Yeah.
It's almost 7:30 in the morning there, and yeah, she invests in Syracuse.
Oh, okay.
Over
Yeah,
there,
because
yeah,
she could probably get hard money for the purchase and the rehab. And it's going to take, you know, a couple months to close. So by the time, you know, by February, when she's actually ready to sell the current property, she can just transition into the new property by starting now.
I think she's going to rent out that property. I think that she has.
Yeah, she is. She's not gonna sell it, but she's probably a really good candidate for Burr, because she's looking to buy and hold and just keep rolling. So as long as she can get the banks to back her up, she works with the right people.
And by the way, she's in Syracuse, which is where Micron's going. And it's so crazy what's going on out there in Syracuse. There was she should be doing the massive happy dances for if you want anything in Syracuse right now. So so it's crazy what's going on with the prices here. And by the way, it is just about 10:30. So we try to be respectful of everybody's time here. I can stay on for a few more minutes if people want to go over a few things or whatever, just chat or whatever. But if you have to go, we totally understand. Make sure you get registered for the holiday party next Friday. And then we'll be back here in 2 weeks. The evening will be the last one for 2022. All right, those you have to go do real estate. Thank you very much. I don't know if Scott has anything you'd like to add.
Yeah, just I wish we were gonna be there for the holiday event. It is one of the two biggest networking events in Rochester of the year. The other one being the picnic. So register to go. It's if you're a paid member, you and a guest can come, go. And the reason that Joe and Leon, Susan and Doug started this was because most of us don't work for a corporation that has holiday parties. We're our own independent business owners. So this is like our holiday party, our time to get together and just kind of, talk about wins and successes and what's been working and, just where you want to be in 2023. So make sure you go to it. And then I'm going to challenge people. I won't call people out, but in 2 weeks on Thursday, I'd like for some people to come back and share some of their written goals that they have for 2023. And I don't care, I want personal goals. I want fitness goals. I want business goals. I want relationship goals, whatever you want, we'd like for people to discuss what their goals are. And the reason for that, when you start speaking about it, talking about it, you start thinking about it. And other people are going to try to help you to get to your goals too. So that's one thing I definitely like to discuss in 2 weeks. What are your goals going to be for 2023? I'll talk about some of my goals. And that's all I got. I'll hang on for a while. If anybody has any other questions and stuff, I can hang on for about another 15 minutes myself.
Are you driving right now?
I'm driving right now.
Hey, Scott, just to reinforce what you're talking about, I used to make a living as a career coach for professionals, and I've written a couple of books on the subject of career coaching. You're absolutely right. You must create and set goals for yourself, and then once you've written them down, you must write them down, and you have to do what Scott suggested, which is you have to share it with your family, with your close friends, with people germane to the topic. Like, for example, if it's real estate investment, this is the group, and then otherwise nothing happens. And I've written articles and all kinds of. Actually, there was if you go to my Facebook page a few days ago, I reposted an article that was published in the Democrat and Chronicle in 2008. And that article was because I did an envisioning workshop for professionals, where you have to visualize where you're going, where you want to be in your career. And then they interviewed me, and they posted my photo and some other comments from other people on the exact topic of envisioning your career. And so I've been doing this for a long time. So absolutely, we must each write down our specific goals, whether they be financial, relationship wise, career wise, whatever we're doing, and follow through with them. I could go on for hours. But anyway, that's good advice, Scott.
Thanks.
So Scott, you're in Chicago. How long are you going to be in North Carolina for?
Say that again, Joe.
How long are you going to be in North Carolina?
Through Sunday. Sunday we go to Myrtle Beach. Not a bad place to be for a couple of weeks this time of year. You got snow up there?
Well, I don't see any. I know Buffalo got crushed.
We got snow down near Bristol. Yeah, there's snow on the ground.
Wow. You guys can
our good friends own the social restaurant in the Naples Hotel, and they put up a picture last night of the snowflakes they were getting there. It looked real pretty. And if you had a chance, I'm going to recommend go check out the social restaurant that's in the Naples Hotel down in Naples. They completely redid it. Kept the old speakeasy type atmosphere of it. It's a really cool place. If you want a nice place to go for holidays, take your family or take your significant other, or just go someplace yourself and enjoy it. Go check it out. It's a really nice restaurant. So.
Oh, thanks, Scott. I will.
Yeah.
So Scott, how many facilities you got now?
The same total as I had last time we talked.
Oh, yeah?
Oh, yeah.
I know you're gonna be looking at more right now.
Yeah, you know, I'm not looking as many as you are, but I'm looking at a couple.
Oh,
Gabe's got a couple in the works. I know I'm all excited about those. And yeah, so some good things happening, and we'll see what happens in 2023.
Yeah,
So,
we see what's going to happen here.
Yeah, I don't know if you guys talked about it. I'll talk about it quick. We are starting to see a shift in even in self-storage where people are because of inflation and the cost of everything, and we all feel it when we go to the grocery store, when we go to the gas pump. You know, there's the main needs that people need. They need to have housing for them and their family. They need to take care of that. You need to take care of utilities. You need to take care of your medical. You take care of your gas and get back and forth to work or to the house you're working on or to your business. And then you also need to buy groceries. And that's become really expensive for a lot of people. And some people who would put things into self-storage are now waiting a little bit. We're starting to see that. And yeah, you just adjust to it. So we don't see the move-ins that we were seeing before because people don't have that disposable income for A, putting $100 a month into a self-storage facility, or B, buying more stuff they maybe really don't need and then they put into self-storage. So the price increase of everything has really had a major impact across the board, including self-storage. But I keep telling people we're coming to a crossroads in self-storage because of the foreclosures that are starting to happen and things. People are having to downsize from that 3,000 square foot house down to 1,500 square foot house. And they know eventually the economy is going to come back and they'll get a different job and all that. And they'll be able to buy another house. So they aren't going to get rid of their stuff. So those people will be putting their items into self-storage, you know, for however long, but that is going to lag. I'm going to say probably about 8 months. So right now we're in a little downturn in self-storage where people aren't moving in like what we saw in the past. And you know, you just had to, like Joe, like you said, you know, you're 52% leveraged. That's where you have to be, you know, and buying anything, you have to buy them right. That way you have to weather a storm. And that's what we're seeing right now in real estate. And the people who are smart are going to weather it and come out good on the other side. And that's what we're trying to help people do. Joe, you and I, that's why we do these calls. That's why Leon and Joe McGuire and, you know, Andy McQuaid's had a lot of input with this group. And that's why we run this group, is just to help people weather the storm. You know, when we said, just be conservative and be prepared, that's what we're talking about, you know, and we're just trying to help people to weather the storm that we're seeing right now. So
I agree 100%, Scott. 100%. Because of that, you get to travel around the country. Because of that, Barrington gets to travel all over the place. You never know where he's calling in from at this point. You know?
Yeah.
You know, but well, I don't know if anyone else has anything.
You know, actually, wait, hold on. Scott, that's interesting you brought that up because, you know, it's funny that the places that I'm calling, and, you know, some of them have ESS websites and whatever. And I didn't really put two and two together. But lately, I'm finding more and more like facilities that were all full, like, you know, waiting list. like 10 by 10 to 10 by 20s. I'm seeing more and more. They're like right now. And I'm like, I didn't really think about it, I guess, but now that you mention it that way, I'm like, holy crap, it's true. You know, it's just interesting how it's true. Like, and I don't know why I just didn't put two and two together when I was looking at the website. I'm like, right now, I'm like finding it more and more. I'm like, so that's why. Okay, it's interesting.
Hey, folks, I gotta go. Thanks very much for your time.
No problem. Thank you. Well,
Yeah, thanks, guys. I'll see you in a couple weeks.
thank
Stay in.
you.
Bye,
Everybody
Dave.
have a
Appreciate it.
great day. I'm gonna head out of here too.
Yep. All right, let's call it. Thanks, everybody. We'll see you soon.
Thank you.
See you
All
at
right.
the party
See you,
on Friday next week, Joe.
Yeah.
Yeah, have a great
absolutely.
time, everybody. I'll be thinking
See you
about
guys
you.
there.
Thanks, Scott. Thank you. I'll talk to you later.
Have a good day,
Yep.
everyone.
Bye.
See you, bud.
Bye.